It is a corporate time with Tom and Dan. I'm Dan.
I'm Tom. So what's
That's
wrong?
my serious tone.
No,
that's my
serious.
serious. Dun, 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 dun. That's my serious tone.
You know,
Yeah.
it's
Pain in the ass.
everybody knows.
Everybody.
I do feel like we are all. You just getting that. You're just
We're
waiting.
all in this together.
You're just waiting for it to come. You're
Yeah.
like, come on.
Yeah. You want it to come faster, and it never does. Right when you start to prepare and people hit their, hype, saturation point, is when the storm usually stalls a little bit and is like, no.
Yeah.
I'm going to stall.
That's when you get blacked out drunk.
Yeah. I'm going to get into
start
your
drinking,
snacks, and then what does the storm do? It stalls, right?
Yeah,
and then it gets a little weaker. Then everybody's like, hey, not going to be that bad. Oh, it gets real strong then. Then it gets back to normal, and then it hits you. So that's basically what's going to happen. Everybody be safe. Please take it seriously. And if you need to evacuate. And just be mindful of other humans and be a good person.
So I realized something yesterday.
Yeah.
Because, Crystal's like, we have to prepare for, the back, porch to flood. And I don't want it to flood into my office. So we got to get sandbags.
It's all the way down. If I'm looking at if I'm standing at your pool looking back towards your house, you're talking about all the way to the left-hand side over where near the shower is, right?
Yeah.
Where your modern PI copper shower is.
All my rainwater comes down one super gutter on one side.
Yep, I've
because
seen it.
I have this mishmash Florida.
It's like a
Frankenstein
Dr.
house.
Seuss-y.
Yeah.
It's Seuss-y. It's very Dr. Seuss-y.
They added an addition on. It's a flat roof, so all that water just pours.
It looks like Willy Wonka's chocolate factory.
You
it's
guys
like
have heard.
Swirly gutters.
I've been dealing with this for 14 years. Anyway.
You would think you'd just hire a professional to just knock it out one time instead of patching it for 14 years. But hey, whatever you want to do, man.
No. It works 100% when I have power. Because now I have a sump pump and it pumps the water out fast, right? But as soon as I lose power, then I'm effed.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You're like a jet ski. You're like a jet ski.
Yeah,
Can't turn, can't move.
So, and then I even looked about plugging the sump pump into my truck because my truck has an outlet.
Ooh,
but
a truck sump pump.
It's too many watts. And
you got to get one of those Anchor, those mega batteries.
Yeah, didn't get that.
They still got them, dude.
I mean, not now.
You throw money at it for $7.99. I can get you one. I bet.
I like to gamble.
Okay.
I'd rather get the free sandbags. I'll tell you about that one yesterday.
Free sandbags. Oh my God! You've resorted to sandbags.
So
you're a sandbag Tom.
So
have you ever sandbagged it before?
Never.
So this is
14 years.
14 years. Does it hurt your heart?
Yeah.
This is like throwing up. How long has it been since you've thrown up?
That last chicken time, I forgot.
I don't count that. I really don't count that. I feel like you were poisoned by your wife, and I don't count that.
Well, you have to count it.
I don't have to do anything. I'm an American. I do what I want.
If you don't count that, 20 years. But
20 years.
But that was like 6 years ago, something like that.
Whatever.
Anyway. Okay, so I figured out why I'm so hesitant to over-prepare. Right?
Okay.
And this must be a thing out there. I don't know. It could be just me because I'm stupid.
Yeah.
But there's a psychological reason. And it's the only emotional, tidbit thing or emotional thing that I really act upon.
Okay.
Right? And so this is why. So, and I compare it to betting against the Dolphins or whatever team you are, right? So I do that all the time, but when you bet against the team you like, people usually don't like to do that.
No.
Captain Boy Matt will never bet against the Steelers.
No.
Even if he knows logically it's a good lie, he just won't do it.
Yeah.
The reason is because you don't want to, in the back of your mind, root against the team you love.
Sure.
Right? Because no matter what, even if you are an unemotional robot like myself, when I'm betting against the Dolphins,
by design, it's not good.
In the back of my mind, I want them to lose because I want to win my bet, right?
Right.
And when I over-prepare, like when I'm building a sandbag dam in front of my doors, in the back of my mind, I want the floodwaters to come
to test the sandbag dam.
Not even to test it, to legitimize or
the work
that I put in, right?
It justifies it.
To justify the work, right? And I think and I
think you're speaking to a lot of people right now. A lot of people hate to prepare for things that don't happen.
Yes, because that feels worse. Because if you and it's because
I think this is going to happen though. This is a massive
mega. No, I know. That's why I did it.
This one, this is definitely worthy of sandbags. I think. But we're not talking about now. We're talking about just the feeling in general. Okay.
No, I looked at the thing. I'm like, oh, it's going to be bad.
There's so much red right on that storm.
I mean, it's going to dump water.
Take it seriously. Get your bags.
I'm looking. I'm like, I'm going to be out of power for 5 days at the minimum.
Yeah.
Like
at the best.
I
think my power is going to go out too.
It's going to push over all the trees. How can it not? It's a bad storm. Anyway,
it's bad.
So back to, I don't want to sit there and hope in the back of my mind that water comes so that my sandbags work.
I get the sickness. I understand it.
I'd rather not prepare and hope that it doesn't come.
Right.
Because it's better to hope that nothing happens than
nothing happens.
Then in the back of your mind hope that it's bad, so that you know.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
That is illogical.
Yeah, it's
that's
twisted.
Emotional.
It's a little twisted.
And anyway, so
there are other people agreeing with you too in the chat room that feel the same. And namely Norm, who I know you and Norm have fought a lot, but he agrees with you on that.
I think
he agrees with you on that.
Because I'm so hesitant to over-prepare, and there's no reason why. Like, why not? It's better to be prepared and nothing happen, but for whatever reason, that's emotional. I'll be mad if that happens.
Yeah.
Like, if no water comes at all, and I put all the sandbags, and I'll tell you about it. So
I too have never been a sandbag man, and that typically shows you that for the most part I've always lived inland. The only time I was living coastal, I was living in St. Augustine. Sure, that can get hit, and I was living right on the beach, but we never got a storm.
The sandbags aren't going to do nothing for a storm surge for the most part. No. I mean, real bad, but I'm just like, and by the way, I'm not talking about flooding like a foot of water in my house. I'm talking about water will come into our office and then cause a big mess.
Yeah.
You know, like the worst case scenario.
We're not talking about losing everything like people in the Tampa area.
I'm talking about, and then I'm moving my hydro row machine in the middle of the night, screaming at Crystal's yelling.
Yeah.
Like, you know.
I got you.
I'm only trying to not let something kind of minor happen. You know, it's a pain in the ass.
Well, it's happened before just for bad storms. So, yes. I mean.
So Crystal tells me yesterday, we got to get sandbags, and I'm looking at the thing. I'm like, all right. Let's do it.
Okay.
But
you didn't put up any fight? Like she says, hey.
Yeah, well, immediately I'm like, I feel like it's going to be an S show at the free sandbag pile.
I mean,
so let's just check all.
What are you, like Nostradamus? Like, how would you know that it's going to be an S show at the free sandbag lot?
Because it started to get bad at Publix, and then
Publix is terrible.
And then I'm driving by Wawa and all the gas stations, and
I'd like to make an appeal. Just naturally sitting here in the mornings, I was like doing my email and stuff.
Yeah,
you can hear people out driving their cars, laying on their horn, and everybody's aggravated.
Yeah.
Bring it down. Yeah. You got to bring it down.
It's hard to. You're aggravated.
I know, but you got to drive defensively and just roll. You got to bring it down because you're going to start fighting with everybody. Don't fight.
Well, you're fighting with your wife.
Stop.
You're fighting with your husband. You're fighting with your kids. You're fighting with your boss.
Fighting for your life.
Your boss is like, get to work. Yeah. It's not even coming till Wednesday night. And then you're like, I got to prepare. And then you're
we
mad.
Got plenty of time. You just want to go home and smoke your True Leaf and get so drunk. The whole chat room, all they are doing right now, these drug addicts in the chat room, they're smoking their weed and drinking their Miller Lights and eating their Zapp's potato chips. I see you.
So,
free sandbags.
Crystal's like, here's the Altamont Springs sandbag location, all right? So,
where's it at? It's probably a really nice part of town.
You could bring your own shovel.
Wow. So, that's just to fight off the zombies that are there.
Oh, by the way, I went to the dump yesterday to throw away that TV and this other, and then I put the line a mile long. I turned around. It's still in the back of my truck.
Oh my God!
Just
throw it in the street.
I was like, I'll
what do
throw
people
it away
do?
later.
Like, what would people do? Like, would you get in trouble? I'm being serious right now. This is an aside.
Okay.
I get in your truck. I'm going to drive it down to this Big Lots parking lot right down here. You know, this Big Lot's down here. And then I just take all of it. I just drag it all out of the back, just leave it in a parking space, get in your truck and drive away. I won't be on camera. No one will find me. No one will say anything. No one will do anything. I'll never see it again.
Yeah, I mean,
just
it's a crime.
Why is that a crime?
It's littering.
No,
It's dumping
parking
garbage.
lot. It's a parking lot.
It's fine. I'll deal with it later. But so
just bring it in here.
Anyway, I don't even need it out back. I was just trying to get this.
Okay, what about the ignorant move? What if you just leave your tailgate down and floor it? I think my dad used to do that a lot with stuff he didn't want, like paint and stuff. He just put it in the back of his truck and just floor it and let it fly out.
So I get the shovel. We drive to the place.
Big
right?
shovel or like military foldable shovel?
Not a tiny spade. It's actually a spade.
A little spade. Nice.
And I was like, oh, this will fit into the mouth of the sandbag.
yeah, look at you.
And so
we got a gardener over here, folks. This guy's got a spade.
I'm driving, and then I see it. And then I'm like, where is it? And then she's like, it's up there by the park. And then I'm like, oh, no. And there's a line of cars.
Like Disney, right?
Oh, I mean, it's people are flooding in there. I'm like, oh, God. So
and everybody's happy.
We get in the line, every honking and something like that. And then I want to turn around. Chris is like, we got already here. Let's just get them, whatever.
Yeah, but you're not like me. So I'd be bitching and bitch to the point where Andrew would be like, well, fine, just turn around. You know what I mean? Like, you keep it to yourself.
Yeah.
You fight it.
So
you don't run your mouth like I do.
So the line's going pretty fast. I'm like, oh, okay, maybe it's not going to be that bad. So we go.
What kind of people are running this? Like, are they just volunteers? Do they have on like
some sort of county? Which I will say that it is like one of the visual representations of what your tax dollars go to that we don't normally get. Like the fact that they give out free sandbags is that's pretty cool. You know, for free.
I'd rather them cut me a check, but I'll take a free sandbag.
And so we get there, and there's a tent, and then I'm like, what? And it looks like, you know, in the movies where zombies overrun, like some sort of
like a cow.
Yeah, a cow.
A cow carcass.
Then there's a pile on
it.
Yeah,
they all get in the middle of it.
And then
you can't even see the victim anymore because the zombies.
I can't even see the pile of sand.
Yeah, they're devouring it.
Everybody, I mean, 60
You got old
people.
ladies filling her bras with sand. You got old lady filling her shirt with sand.
You can't even see the sand.
No,
it's just
you'll never get any sand.
It's a pile of humanity. Then humanity around the pile waiting to get in there somehow.
Little remnants of sand. Sand crumbs.
There are people scooping the sand out in the parking lot, like into little tiny piles, and then having their kids put. And I'm like, that's not gonna do nothing.
Lord.
So I'm
you
like,
might as well let your house flood. Like literally, if you have your son or daughter scraping up little handfuls of sand and putting it into a bag, let your house flood.
But at this point, just go to the dirt.
The whole world is made of dirt.
There is. I'm not even joking. We're at a public park. There is dirt.
There's dirt everywhere.
Yeah, there's grass.
Steal the dirt. Get the dirt. Can you do that? Put that down as a question for Mo. Can you just steal earth?
I think the cops will let you. They don't care. They're like, listen, I don't.
Well, then if they'll let you do that, they'll let me throw your TV in a Big Lots parking lot.
Like, I think you can go to a public park and then
just start taking all the dirt.
And not all of it.
I'm gonna go down to this baseball diamond down here and take the clay. Clay will hold up better, right?
Just shovel dirt into a bag.
What if I steal all the clay from the Baldwin baseball?
No, I don't know. I mean, at this point, it's emergency.
Thank you for calling the Storm Hotline. This is Tom and Dan. How can we help you?
What's up, man? It's Concrete Mike.
Hey, what's going on, Mike? I saw you in the chat room. You're listening to us live. How are you faring with the storm? How are you in getting prepared?
I mean, I got most of my stuff good. Not a lot of big trees I got to worry about because I'm kind of in a newer neighborhood.
Nice.
But the sandbag talk, every storm, every time the news, they overplay it, all the sandbag stuff, people go get their sandbags. Why do they have to go get sandbags every time? What is everybody doing with these sandbags? Why do we still need them at this point? It amazes me.
This is an anti-sandbag man.
Well, they're putting them in front of the door on their third-story apartment because the news scared them into doing it.
Yeah, there is some sickness there.
Yeah. Listen, I'm there too, so look, I'm mad at myself. Go ahead.
But at this point, everybody should have so many sandbags. They don't need to go get sandbags anymore. How's this still an ongoing sandbag thing?
I don't know
Every
how
year,
sandbags.
everybody needs sandbags.
Well, don't they like?
Well, I throw them in the garbage.
Yeah, they're like, aren't they like condoms? Like once you use them, they're done, right?
Yeah. No, well, yeah. Then.
Or do you?
No, you can reuse the sandbag, but I don't need that sitting around my house. I just throw that away.
Yeah. I mean, you empty the sand out of it, and then you throw it away, right?
No, I throw it away full bag, full bag right in the garbage can. So the garbage man.
I live up in the hills. I live up in the hills of Lake County, and so if I flood, the rest of Florida's already underwater. So sandbags ain't gonna do me any good. I'll get in my kayak and float around and go ravage people's houses and steal their supplies.
I like this. See, this is when people ask us, like, why do you guys say the things that you say? Have you heard our listeners? Have you heard what our listeners say?
Concrete Mike is like Daryl from season 1 Walking Dead.
Crossbow and a motorcycle.
No. I'm sorry. No, Daryl's brother. Who is? No. Not Daryl. Who's
Merle?
Merle, the best character, openly racist Merle.
Yes,
he's using the N-word on the top of the buildings. Couldn't believe that.
And Concrete Mike doesn't do that around in public.
Only a couple of classic jokes, maybe.
But Concrete Mike will be one of the people that I contact when all hell's breaking loose because I need a Merle.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because
everybody needs a big for nothing with a chainsaw arm.
Because I've lived my life too weak. I need a hard-working Concrete Mike that is willing to do the dirty work, to get the job done.
For sexual favor.
Whatever he wants.
I will paddle my kayak to your house and bring you a gun and give you 500 rounds if you need it, Tom. You just say the word.
All right, there you go. Thank you, Mike.
Well, I need your protection because I don't know.
Well, I wanted to get him off the line. I thought there was some sort of code.
I'm too weak. I'll be standing. I'm shivering. I haven't trained myself to go through it. Anyway.
You know one scene, this is completely random.
Yeah,
there's a scene in The Walking Dead that I randomly think of like almost every single day, like, remember that thing where they were like, "Oh, men think of ancient Rome every day."
Yeah. I've never got that. I've never heard of that.
I've never thought of ancient Rome ever.
I don't think any of my if I ask any of my friends, I don't think they.
But there is a Walking Dead scene that pops up almost daily in my brain, and it's the scene of the black guy whose wife turned into a zombie, and she was walking outside his house, and almost every night he'd look at her. With the sniper rifle. Yeah, I don't know why I think of that. It's haunting me, dude.
Your dream is to sit in your balcony and
follow Andrea with
a point of your sniper rifle at Andrea, and then every night you look and you
can't do it.
And then one tear falls, and then you're like,
I can't
maybe
do it.
tomorrow.
I can't do it. I love her too much. I don't know why I think of that all the time.
Put your shades. Also,
God Almighty, wouldn't she walk?
Would she wander off?
She could fall in the river or something. Like she's gonna be there every day haunting you.
Yeah. Like eventually,
put a road cone out there. She'll hit it and go the opposite direction,
like a Roomba.
I'm glad you remembered that. This is how weird I am. This is why you should have a different business partner. That is something I think about every day. The black guy that looking at his wife through the sniper scope.
Yeah. And then I'll shoot her leg.
So she'll just lay there.
Yeah. So then now she's just laying down, so she's no wandering off.
Yeah.
Or
just bring her inside.
So,
you could bring her inside, yank all her teeth out.
Yeah, that's what Moeicane did.
Yeah. You gotta look at her. She'd be like frothing and yelling.
Although, why didn't Moeicane's brothers, even with no teeth, why'd they just turn into zombie dogs? And then why they should still try to attack her every time, right?
They'd be mouthing her good.
Even with no teeth, they still try. That's instinctual.
Do they just bite, or do they also use their hand? I think they use their arms, right? No, they didn't have arms. She chopped their arms off, right?
Yeah. But they just turned into zombie dogs. They should be still trying to attack.
Yes.
They don't know they have no teeth.
Or does she put the stink of the zombie on her so they don't attack her?
Oh, yeah, I forgot the zombie stink.
Yeah, you gotta have the stink. You gotta have the stink on you.
Welcome back to Walking Dead Season 1 recap. Well, you're preparing for Milton.
Next week, we're going to start with episode 1 of the Andy Griffith Show and walk through that.
Okay. So then...
they had no arms and no lower jaw, so they could not bite. There you go.
Yeah, but they still would be like, oh, they're
Yeah,
still
they'd
going.
be trying to, like, they take those bunny teeth, they try to stab you good with their top teeth.
Yeah. They just, once you take their teeth and arms, they're like, all right, now I'll just turn into a dog.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we're standing at the pile, the zombie land around the pile.
Yeah.
And
this is Tom getting sandbagged.
And then we're holding the sandbags, and I'm like, let's get the hell out of here. So we leave, right?
How did you convince her to leave? You're right at the, I mean, you're there. You got your 15. Are they little sacks? What are they?
They're like some sort of plastic.
Are they like
burlap?
IKEA bags?
They're like
those
IKEA
blue
bags.
IKEA
Yeah,
bags?
they're like white IKEA bags.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. They're some interwoven sack.
Like plastic sack.
Yeah, like an interwoven plastic sack.
Okay.
And but people started like some people couldn't get dirt, so they're screaming, "Save some for the rest of us," because the pile's
really?
getting
Then you're
lower.
starting a fight.
So then there's one guy.
Save some for the rest of us. What Costco guys?
There's one guy on the top of the pile. He's screaming at his son to come through the.
Come over here before all the minorities get it.
I'm saying, let's get the hell. We gotta get the hell out of here.
It's a race war
So
for the sandbags.
and I'm like, we're out of here. So we leave, and then I'm like,
I'm surprised Crystal left.
Well-
Honestly, man, can I tell you something? Proud of you for putting your foot down.
yeah. Well, she at some point was just like, what am I gonna do?
She gave up?
Yeah.
Oh, see, that makes me sad.
So
I didn't know that you won because she gave up.
So I'm like, let's just go to Lowe's and buy soil, and I'll put the soil in the
In the
sandbags,
bags.
and then I'll use it after for my plants.
Yeah, I
after
can
the soil.
recycle it, and I'll upcycle the soil for my plants.
And
Spoken as nerd man.
and guess what? A lot of other people have that idea.
Bunch of people standing there with their white IKEA bags buying soil.
Which I told Crystal, I'm like, this is why I'm a genius. Because I bet no one else out there.
Chat room saying cat litter works really good.
Everybody else thought of this. So I go, well, I want to I don't have no stinking cats.
I ain't got no stinking cat.
I have a lot of plants that I'll reuse the soil. I get there and it's people are ripping open the pallets of soil. But we got some.
You see the black guy from Walking Dead?
Yeah.
He's there with his wife
I'm
again.
chopping. Yeah. So we get the soil, and then so we get home. Now I got a bunch of soil I got to put in the bags.
Okay.
So
With your little spade.
my boys are playing video games.
Get 'em to help.
Oh yeah. So I'm like, boy, get out of here. So they come. I'm like, put some work clothes on. They have no work clothes.
They put a little, they put like overalls.
They're like, we don't have that. We're like, you don't make us
They
work.
come out with tuxedos and fedoras
They're
on.
like, you don't make us work. We have no idea what that means. So they come out, and then I'm like, hold these bags. I'm gonna use my hands and put the soil. So
but your hands are. Oh man, you should have used something other than your hands.
So I'm putting the.
That must have taken hours.
It was. Then it's raining, and so I'm putting the soil in the sandbags. They're holding it, and they're holding it, and they have such they're so mad that they're out there that they're loose holding the bag. So every clump of soil
it goes on the top of the bag.
Yeah, it goes on top, and then it rips the bag out of their hand and falls down.
And then it all falls out.
Yeah. Then they pick it up. I'm like, hold it tight. So that about 20 minutes of that, right? Yeah. And they're bitching the entire time. They're like, Max is like, I'm hungry. I'm gonna faint. They're like, I got low blood sugar.
Get that man some food.
So I'm like, hold on. I have to go get more soil. So I go to my truck. I come back gone. They're both gone.
I don't blame them.
Yeah. So,
sandbags don't even. What if they don't even work?
So I'm like, God. And then I realized the only way to toughen them up is to take my boat and drive into the swamp, like my dad did for me.
I did not expect.
And that's the only way.
So the first thing you thought of rather than finishing the job, you just like, I'm going to drive to the marina and get the F out of here.
Yeah. And that is the only way to make them tough. Anyway, so.
Yeah, that's a night and day tough, too. That's like the switch.
And then today I got to leave. I got to cut down some papaya trees. And I wasn't going to do it.
Let's be honest with your plants. I did hear tell that you do the look that you just saw if you're watching us on YouTube or Twitch, where he's kind of staring off into nothing, is the look of a man who is to disassemble his greenhouse. Do you need any help with any of this?
No.
I even asked Andrea that. I was like, he always says no.
I was going to leave it.
And let him get blown away?
No, well, it's up against my shed.
Can you strap it down?
It's a Temu hunk of junk.
Okay. It's a Temu. Yeah, I had no idea.
Yeah. It's a Temu, just straight garbage.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I got all my little seed left. Like it's shelves of plants. You know,
Well, we gotta get them in your garage or something, right?
I don't even.
So you would rather just let the storm come and just flatten it?
Yeah, I mean, well, maybe because it's sitting against my house, it's not gonna blow away. You know, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't want to do the work, so I'm telling myself anything I can.
What if you poke holes in it, like you do with larger banners? You know, like what if you just like cut. For wind to blow through.
Crystal's gonna make me take it down. I gotta just take it down, and I gotta cut my tree because my neighbor, once it falls through into my neighbor's yard, the neighbor's gonna be like, "Sir, why did you leave this?"
Sir, your greenhouse blew out all my windows, and this tree is in my backyard.
This papaya tree that Juan gave me straight from Cuba.
It's Juan's fault. I always trace it back to whoever gave you
It's
he came up in the chat room. Did you know Juan has construction next to his house, and it's just loose construction with apparently multiple porta potties that could just fly into his home.
Oh, doo-doo missiles.
Yeah, he's got doo-doo missiles.
Yeah. It's not going to pick up a porta potty, not in Windermere. A tornado maybe, but although I remember after Hurricane Andrew, like this is burned into my memory, is that I went down to Homestead after Andrew, and because my cousin lived there, and I have this huge gash in my calf. That because I was walking through his house, the roof whipped
My
up.
wife has a huge gash
in
her calf. What?
The roof ripped off his house, but they built wooden houses in Homestead back in like the 90s because they changed a lot of laws after that.
A lot of things. We were explaining this to Maisie. We were explaining how like certain times there are hurricane codes. Yeah. That helped her anxiety a little bit.
And I remember walking through my cousin's house and it ripped his roof off. And I remember his couch, his living room, and I remember all the insulation. Like the insulation just
everywhere.
And then rained, and then I remember like my uncle. It was like my my second uncle. He was like just getting like wet papers out of his drawer. I remember as a kid, I was 10 years old.
Dude, that is terrifying.
And I slipped on his glass. He had a huge glass table that shattered his like dining room table.
Oh, porno table.
And
I love a good glass table.
I slipped on it and it cut my calf in his house or whatever.
Wow, dude.
And this is the 90s, so he just put a Band-Aid on it.
Yeah,
Like
you're bleeding. You need stitches, but no, they just put a Band-Aid on
No.
it.
Never went to got stitches. It was like a big, I can see the fat. Anyway, I remember right outside his house, he had a palm tree that all leaves blew off, and a piece of 2x4 stuck through it like a missile.
Whoa.
And I remember as a kid, I was like, how the hell did a 2x4 with such velocity impale a palm tree?
Yeah.
And then and I was like, that must have come out like a bullet.
Yeah.
You know, and still to this day, I can't even imagine winds that strong to pick up a 2x4 and impale a tree.
Yeah, like when we were kids,
like a nail.
When we were kids, the big, I'm not going to say wives' tale because I guess this actually happened, was that pieces of straw had been thrown with so much velocity that they would stick and go through a cow.
That's an urban legend.
And I'm like, what?
That can't happen.
No, but that's what I remember that being a thing. They'd be like, oh yeah, like pieces of straw can just like rocket through like a wall or a cow or an animal. Yeah, it was like, as a kid, and those are the things that make you scared of, like storms, right? The urban legend.
But again, like there was so much, like that's a straight 5, which again, with Tampa and everything, it's I feel bad for them.
Yeah, it's definitely not going to.
Anyway,
it's definitely not going to be fun. You got your bags. You got them all filled up.
Yeah, I filled them. I mean, it was just.
And that's just for the door. You put them in the.
Yeah, it's.
You put them in the inside. Or you put them on the outside.
Outside, and then you got to get Visqueen to like create a water barrier. And again, it may not get that bad, hopefully, but if
got to be prepared.
If my power turns off, my sump pump stops. It could flood in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Because it's just so much water comes down, and then it's like, everybody's dealing with their own stuff.
Everybody's got it.
Anyway.
Yeah. Well, there you go. We hope you guys obviously take it seriously and do what you need to do. We got some emails of things to talk about other than the storm, and I welcome these. This came in from our buddy Ryan, our Ghost of Manute Bull, in our Twitch chat room. I love that guy. We could give the dude straight up give him a segment now because he has some of the greatest emails ever. He emailed us this morning. He said, "Hello, show. Hurricanes suck. So here are some fun topics for you guys to kick around to lighten the mood today. And these are great. The first one he gives us is the time CNN legal analyst Jeffrey Tobin started tugging his pecker during a Zoom call. Do you remember that?
Yes. He forgot his Zoom call was on,
Yeah.
and then he just started
Excused
looking
himself,
at porn.
Yeah, I think he excused himself to the bathroom and he like had his pants off. And like multiple people saw it. I'll have to pull up exactly what happened here.
Well, wasn't he like he started looking at porn? He forgot his cameras on, like, and people were looking at him.
I think so. Exactly did Jeffrey Tubin do? I know he was fired, and was it the New Yorker or the New York Times? It was the New Yorker. Yeah, so he's working with the New Yorker in October of 2020. During the call, Tubin exposed himself and engaged in a sexual act, mistakenly believing that his camera was turned off. The incident was quickly reported, leading to Tubin being suspended, and later fired by the New Yorker. He apologized publicly, stating that the incident was unintentional and he did not realize others could see him. In the aftermath, he took a leave of absence from CNN, where he was also a prominent legal commentator. He later returned and addressed the incident, apologized again, and explained that he had spent time reflecting on his actions. So there you go.
What are you reflecting on? Like, man, I should have realized the Zoom was on.
He talks about it.
Yeah.
I looked it up.
Here's the thing. Like, do you have to fire him? You realize he didn't do it intentionally.
No,
obviously.
but you do have to fire him because of everybody else that saw his peen, right? That's why you have to do it.
No, I know. It's
Like he talks about
the company has to protect
he
themselves.
talks about it here. Listen to this guy. Here he is talking about it a little.
Since then, after, of course, this is the incident that occurred in 2020, Zoom, masturbation, now former colleagues at the New Yorker were involved, among others. Subsequently fired from the magazine. You left CNN. What's life been like for Jeffrey Tubin?
Well, let's talk about the incident itself.
Yeah.
It was a disaster in my life, self-inflicted, self-destructive, and something that I will regret for the rest of my life.
I don't know. I did it this morning and I loved it. I'll go out on a limb and just say, like, I was bummed about the storm.
Yeah.
And before I got here, I took care of business and I felt I took on the day better.
Yeah, everybody does it. Yeah, that's not what you regret. You regret
Being caught.
doing it in front of your Zoom camera while at work, which was just an accident. And maybe you could tell yourself, like, I should have been more cautious. But like, it's just an accident. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're not used to being on Zoom. It's during COVID. Like, what?
Yeah, EJ's saying his tabs were visible too. I wonder what his tabs were.
Also, how comfortable of a person are you that you're on a Zoom call and then you just forget that someone's looking at you?
That's an addiction to me. That sounds like.
That's
like when you like literally like look. I think you made the statement. Everybody does it.
Yeah.
I think you and I both know we do it, right?
Yeah.
But neither of us are in a position where if we were having a meeting in there, I would slip off to the bathroom because I just had to do it.
You have a problem at this point. You have compulsion. You can't control.
Dude, you're on a work call.
Yeah.
I don't care if your camera's on or off. I mean, it's like, look, you do that on your own time.
Yeah.
You don't do that like in the middle of a meeting. That shows that you're an insane person.
Yeah. Then that's why they fired him.
Yeah, that's why they fired him.
If this happened and someone recorded him doing that in some motel or something.
Oh no, it's not my business.
Yeah.
Not my business.
And then everybody saw it, but then it's like, well, it's the judgment that you're getting fired for.
Right.
Yeah.
The next thing that Ryan has on the list is when Meatloaf sang "America the Beautiful" with Big and Rich at a Mitt Romney rally. I forgot about that one. Let me look that up.
And back to the New York Times reporter or whatever.
I think it was the New
Post
Yorker.
or whatever.
New York,
Right. Imagine when he realized that he was still in the Zoom. Like that fraction of a second.
Oh, it hurts your chest.
How terrified
It hurts.
and then like scared.
Yeah, it hurts.
When you realized what just
Have you ever done that?
never. No.
I have.
I'm so scared of
that
feeling.
I've told the story 100 times. I can give you I have multiple of them. The time, okay, I'll give you one. I was sitting at the Publix version of Panera, which was called, what were those called? Crispers. Remember Crispers?
Yeah.
I was at Crispers eating a sandwich with Andrea. and I was sending a joke message to you about someone.
Oh, yeah,
and I
remember.
sent it to the person. I sent it, like, basically sent the horrible message directly to the person I was talking about.
yeah.
And you get like like me, I get like a pain in my chest. It's anxiety. I've talked about it with my shrink and everything.
Yeah.
I get a hot, it's like, and then it's literally
weird
me dying from the inside out.
With your level of anxiety, that mistake could even happen.
I know, you would think, but you know.
Yeah, you
like,
would think you triple check. And it's like.
No, but you can't, like, I did triple check, but you know, like on an iPhone, you know, like when you're flipping through messages and like a message will, okay, like you're going to write a message and then a message comes in, right?
Yeah.
This person had messaged me as I was like talking to you. So their message was prominent. So when I went to write back to you, I actually activated that person. Believe me, I've been through this a million times. I had to figure it out of why I did it. But I sent the insult directly to that person and I get like a hot chest. You know you've effed up. There's no way to fix it. You know you're going to have to lie to get out of it. You know you are. And you know that person's going to know you're lying.
Yeah.
But you go through with it. You have to go through. You have to do it.
You do the dance.
You do the dance. Yeah, you do the dance. I did find it. Let's see if this is Meatloaf at a Mitt Romney rally. Oh, there he. Oh my God, I forgot about this. Okay, here comes Meat. Here comes Mr.
Go ahead now, brother. Yeah. Everybody sing, come on. America, America.
But here he goes. Here we go. Okay, here comes Meatloaf. This is where Meatloaf starts to go sideways. There you go. All right. That'll chase the hurricane away. That's Meatloaf singing America the Beautiful. We're revisiting some of our favorite clips.
Meatloaf passed away, right?
I think he did. Yeah.
No.
It was weird. It was a shooting.
No.
It's a drive-by shooting.
No.
For nothing but misinformation. It was a drive-by shooting.
What else did Manute want to talk about?
Okay, this one's mean, but Ryan wants us to also talk about Jeff Howell's AI art gallery.
Okay, stop. Come on.
Should I go to the website?
No, come on. That's our friend.
Yeah, it is our friend. All right, Jeff. Okay, he's got some new ones. They're for sale.
How much are there?
They are $15. They're very reasonably priced.
Okay.
So if you want any of them, he's got one. It's the one that I like the most. Here is a fat lady on a broom, and she's flying, and she's a witch, and it says the Wicked Witch of the South.
Okay. What is it? Oh,
It's a big fat. It's like a big fat Southern witch.
okay. All right.
Let's see if I can put this up for everyone to see here.
I'm curious to if you went into...
Should we buy one of these?
No, because Jeff Howell will know that we're talking about it and you get mad.
I don't think he cares. He just wants the money, right? Like, he's like you.
Yeah, no.
He's like you. Dude, if there's one thing I know, Jeff Howell's like you, and he's a logical man, and he likes money. He doesn't care if I say these suck. He doesn't care. Give me $15, mother effer.
Okay, yes, he is like me, but because he's like me, if we buy that, he'll know that we're buying it to make fun of him.
But I don't think he'll care. He doesn't care.
No, but he'll know that
he makes fun of himself.
Yeah, but he's like, these guys they're messing with me by buying my art. They're trying to get me.
Is it his art?
The way he wrote the sentence.
I mean, I don't claim that any of the stuff that I do on AI is really me, right? Is it? Okay, we can move on to the next one. I don't want to alienate our friend. I don't want to alienate our friend.
You already did it.
Okay, I did. I'll take my lumps. The next one that Ryan wants us to handle is talking to Tuttle hanging outside the courthouse during the Casey Anthony trial and heckling Cheney Mason until he flipped off Tuttle and told him to go F himself. That's a true story. That actually happened.
Now,
I think Tuds is itching to get back in the like the annoyance.
Show up at the news.
The annoyance game.
No, he's full. He's full.
Yeah, yeah.
100%.
Should we send him down to? We should send.
He said he'll do anything.
We should
for
send
us.
him down to heckle people making sandbags. I'm kidding. I would never do that. I would never do that. But it would be funny. Send him down there, bleach his hair like Eminem, and send him down to heckle people getting sandbags. That'd be funny.
They start hitting him with the shovels.
They like beat him up. And then the last thing that Ryan wants us to cover.
How does
Yes,
that
please.
not bother Tuttle? Like, okay, you go down.
He's been punched before.
No, I know. Like the 90s radio show host sends you down to the courtroom, so you could stand outside
And be nothing but an annoyance.
and you're around a sea of other crazy
And
people.
you're yelling, you're just screaming Baba Booey.
yeah. Everybody down. Like,
Yeah.
okay, is the audience?
They all know.
Okay, is the audience that is in front of the courthouse?
Crazy people. Sandbag people.
No.
The crazy sandbag
No.
people.
Are they the craziest group of people that we have?
The people that are there with like hoping that they get a glimpse of like a murderer or something.
But the celebrity protesters / supporters,
Yes.
because there's both. There's people that are like against OJ, and there are people
Yeah.
with him.
Some people want to marry him while he's in prison.
Yeah. And then they show up at the courthouse, and then they're dressed like Uncle Sam. They're screaming on a bullhorn.
Right, yeah.
That's the
They're
craziest group
super crazy.
that we have, right?
Yeah.
Is there any other crazier group? I think that's it, right?
They're pretty crazy.
Yeah.
And they get there early. They go down there early.
Yes, yeah.
They wear diapers so they can stand there the whole time. They're peeing their pants.
Yeah.
Right?
And I'm not talking about like protesters. I'm talking the celebrity court
Yeah.
room.
Yeah.
Supporters /
Like they're standing behind
gawkers.
Nancy
They're-
Grace.
Yeah, they're gawkers.
Yeah.
What is it? Who does that?
I've never done that, but we know people that have done that. We know people that have gone down there just like because their curiosity, they want to get in the courtroom and maybe sit. Because there used to be a time with the Casey Anthony trial where if you got down there early, you could sit in.
Yeah, now, if you're doing it to report or a blog or like some sort of you're monetizing, giving the information, like that, you could make an argument of like, okay, well, this is a huge high profile case and you want, I'm just talking about you're standing outside dressed like Spider-Man and you're screaming. You know what I'm saying? Like you're not doing,
Yeah.
you're not helping anything. You're not
No.
getting any information out. You're just out there like, oh,
you just
screaming
want
like,
to get on the news.
yeah.
And normally your life is in shambles, right? Like normally these people,
Yeah.
like we're like, why are you down here today?
Yeah,
You should
yeah.
be taking care of your kid.
Yeah. No, you're down there.
Yeah, you have no business down there.
Yeah.
But you have a Spider-Man costume and just burning a hole in your pocket.
What's the last thing?
The last one Ryan says, and thanks again for the email, buddy. These are great. He says, my grandfather told me, quote, you don't have to be a genius to laugh at a fart, but you'd have to be an idiot not to. Is this true in your estimation? I find all farts funny. I just think they're super funny. Me and Maisie, most of the time, most of our conversations are consist of us singing a song that she invented that goes like this. Pooping in the toilet. There you go.
That's all you.
That's about all we do. Yeah, we do a lot of singing a horrible pooping in the toilet song.
You just scream out pooping in the toilet.
Yeah,
There's no actual other parts of it.
No, we sing it like pooping in the toilet, and then we do like jazz hands.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Oh,
We do
okay.
like, Andrea hates it. Oh man, she hates it.
There's something very satisfying about doing something with your kids that your spouse hates.
Yes.
Yeah, Crystal does to me all the time.
Yeah.
Crystal says she sings "If I Was the King of the Forest," like a Cowardly Lion.
Okay.
And I've always hated it. She's done this for 25 years.
Okay. I like this.
And I'm like, stop doing that, please. And she sings it like the lion.
Yeah.
And then now she's got her sons doing it, and I'm like, please stop doing that. That's stupid.
Yeah,
It's not even funny at all.
Something naturally that Andrea does that drives me crazy.
Oh.
When Andrea is naturally singing, like you know how like you hum or sing when you're doing things.
Yeah.
This is gonna make her mad that I'm telling you this. She'll be like be baking, right? Like you're making cookies, and she'll start singing a song. She suddenly starts singing like a person that can't hear.
Oh, you told me this before.
Yes, I
Yeah,
told you
yeah,
this
yeah.
before, and it drives me insane. She'll be
Yeah.
singing, and let's say she's singing the Doobie Brothers, "What a Fool Believes."
Yeah.
She'll be like, "Wanna moon believe to me, the one that got the power."
It's because she's got her earbuds in, all right?
No.
Or AirPods.
She'll
No.
just be sitting there singing. I'm like, you're singing like you're deaf again. Yeah, I'm like, please stop that.
Like Lou Ferrigno?
Yeah, she's like, Ma Bled. Drew Garabo told me a story. If you ever hear me say Ma Bled on the show, Drew Garabo told me a story of when he worked at the TGI Fridays at iDrive that a TV's Lou Ferrigno, the original Hulk, came in there and he loved the bread at TGI Fridays. And so every time Drew would walk by, Lou Ferrigno would yell at him because he is deaf, Ma Bled! Ma Bled! It's a true story.
All right, let's take a break.
Yes.
When we come back, we'll do a shorter segment. Then we got Mo coming in, and we'll do that.
Yep, we'll be right back. Cool.
So I figure we'll do like a
10.
a 10
15.
until Mo gets here. Then
Yep.
we'll do a longer one.
ACT Tuesday. I'm glad we waited to do these, so it's fresh. Boom. Koopa says, or is that, no, it's DJ Access says, Carlos used to do that on the Monsters in the Morning. That's funny. I wonder if it's a thing that some people just do. They just kind of, I think it has to do with how you hear yourself in your own head. Oh, I'm sorry, Shred Bear. Pooping in the toilet stuck in his head. Yeah, it will get stuck in your head. And Maisie does not stop singing it. It's one of the only kind of silly things she does. Good morning, podcast media. How you doing, buddy? He wants to stop by the studio one day, possibly, and check it out. He has just built out his podcast studio.
Who is this?
A listener, I believe his name is Rick from Podcast Media. He's like a local radio guy who has followed like all the bigger shows around this area and the Tampa area. I think I'm getting that correct. Christine, you're always allowed. Christine's like, can I just stop by the studio? Yes, you can. It's always nice to see our friends. All right, let's keep that. He got the studio done, he said. All right, you want to bring us back?
Sure.
Here we go. In 3, 2.
Welcome back to A Corporate Time. So real quick, we got the Bad at Business Beer Fest coming up November 23rd.
Yeah, man. It is still happening. The biggest and best free beer fest, the only free beer fest that I know of, is coming back to Sanford, and we want you to be a part of it.
Yeah, sponsored by Injured on the Go, Just Call Mo, justcallmo.com. He is our primary sponsor. We also have Fairville Megastore. We have White Claw. We got some other sponsors signing in for that. And then we got Sofas and Suds, the Sanford Couch Races, the next day, November 24th. They are both free events. And the Beer Fest, we're going to have a live music. You get a sample cup. You have a bunch of breweries handing out samples of their beer.
Yeah, man.
Food trucks. A bunch of our sponsors come
Excited
out.
about the band we got. You booked that band like way in advance. What's Silver Lining?
Yeah, the BDM said they played the after party for our 10-year ACT, and everybody was like, oh, they basically play 90s covers, but
it's
really
like medleys.
good.
They do like medleys where the music almost never stops. It's like mixed.
Yeah.
It's cool.
And we booked them. They're gonna play, and it's gonna be a good time.
You want to do a couple of voicemail messages?
Yeah.
From the listeners out here. This one broke my heart. Okay, BDM Kylie, and here, just listen to this.
Tom, Dan, BDM Kylie.
BDM Mike.
Sitting here, just trying not to have a panic attack because Milton. And wondering, you guys happen to know anybody with a large space we can have a wedding out on Saturday? Indoors. That'll still have power, hopefully. You know anybody, just let us know because we're scrambling and don't know anybody. So, you guys are huge and know a lot of people. But yeah,
BDM Clyde.
Bye, guys.
Oh, BDM Kylie, BDM Mike. I believe they had to cancel their wedding.
Yeah,
Oh,
a lot of
sorry,
people had to
guys.
cancel
God.
plans.
I am so sorry, y'all.
Now the only
I will give to your registry over the weekend.
it's going to be nice weather after the storm passes. I saw that.
I mean, if you can, hopefully you got your money back. I would imagine that most venues will. I mean, it's an act of God, right? They give you, like, maybe you lose your deposit. Like, how does that work?
No, I'm sure they just postpone it, or like maybe they just have to see because no one knows if they're going to have power or not. It's impossible to know. Like, it's random.
It is.
Trees falling on, and then it's how fast can they fix it?
It is a dice roll.
And so maybe on Saturday there's an area that is like, oh, well, everybody did cancel their plans, so they'll be willing to do it, But what are you going to do? Do a last minute wedding? Like, you have to tell people where to show up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's better just to postpone it and push it back, because even if you could do it, now you're going to tell everybody. Like, a lot of people are going to be like, why'd you still push through with your wedding? Like, I have no power. I'm trying to clean my house. I'm going to put on my bridesmaid dress with no power.
I do like forcing people. Get out of here. I wasn't able to shower. I don't care. It's my wedding.
And
Bridezilla.
You know what? Like, no one really knows what to expect.
This is the best time to be unreasonable.
Yeah. Yeah, but you have an excuse to be unreasonable.
Yeah. And it helps. Like, any place you go, if you go to Publix and there's a long line, just start throwing a fit.
Like, we don't know what it's going to be after, but we have an idea.
Yeah, and it's going to be bad.
And I remember from Charlie, me being surprised about how much trees and power was out with a Category 1 hurricane. So if we're going back 20 years to just mimic Charlie, then it's going to be a lot of cleanup for a week after, a lot of no power for a long time.
What makes me think that is we just haven't done this in a minute. And when you haven't done this in a minute, it means to me that there are new trees that haven't fallen.
Yes, overgrown trees.
Correct.
Yeah. Trees.
Pretty lush out there.
People, they're like, oh, I'll cut that next year.
Yeah.
Believe me, I've done I've done that for the past 14 years.
Well, it's expensive. I think a lot of people are in that boat. I mean, that's probably today is if you don't have your own gear, I mean, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
You can't.
Also, there's no way that you're going to get up there with a chainsaw and start middle-aged dad. You're going to kill yourself. You have to use a professional.
Yeah. I've had very good friends of mine fall off their roofs. We have a friend of the show, that got an what do you call it, blood clot and died.
Yeah.
They fell off the roof. Don't be doing that. Stupid.
And by professional, I mean immigrant on pain pills. That's what I'm saying. They're really good.
Let's check in with DeBerry Joe here.
Hey guys, this is DeBerry Joe. I just had a realization, and I was going to ask if maybe you guys might go through the same thing. Probably not, because I'm an animal. But being a lawn guy and like working in like day in, day out through the summer and not having much of a social life, I just realized that I'll go weeks without actually putting on deodorant, because like I get out of the shower and I just lay around the house, and then like I'm not going to put on deodorant to go cut grass because I'm already like soaked in sweat by 8:30. I probably go through a significantly lower amount of deodorant than the average bear. I don't know. It just kind of struck me, and I would just bounce ideas off of y'all. Thoughts?
I will not put on more deodorant because I'm going to work out, because I don't care if I stink while I'm working out. So I get what you're saying.
Yeah, but I think you guys have it backwards. The people that sweat a lot need to use deodorant. Like the people that are just going to a cubicle in an AC building and then getting in their AC car, going home, like they don't need the deodorant.
See, I would argue they do, because they're around people in close quarters, where DeBerry Joe is a singular individual job. He's not around anybody to smell him.
That is true. Deodorant is for other people.
Other people.
Yeah. Although I have to imagine that you pop into 7-Eleven to get your daily lunch, like I know you do.
Okay, yeah. He's got you there, Joe.
And then I'm standing behind you.
Yeah, he's got you there.
And
I don't want to smell that.
You stunk up the whole 7-Eleven.
Yeah, I didn't think about that.
And
if your friend goes in and gets your taquitos, I will accept that, but I have a feeling you go in.
Yeah.
If you don't see anybody, I think it's okay. What kind of deodorant do you rock? What are you running?
whatever Crystal buys me, just whatever, a stick.
A gel, a stick,
No, a
a
stick,
roll-on. I'm a
Oh, yeah.
spray man still. Bought it yesterday.
That's weird.
Went to Target. I buy, and I use so much of it, I buy 2 cans at a time.
That's,
You know what I
don't-
almost bought yesterday, and Maisie and Andrea yelled at me and wouldn't let me get it? They still sell at Target. It's about this tall. What's that, about a foot? It's about a foot tall.
Uh-huh.
It's the jumbo throwback can right guard. The real stuff, dude. The real stuff, like the Mean Joe Green used it. You hear what I'm saying?
What? Why don't you just use a stick like
No.
a regular businessman?
I like a nice late 70s, early 80s tall spray can right guard.
Don't it?
Right, the tough.
But it sprays up the whole
Yes,
bathroom.
it does.
Yeah.
But it works.
Yeah.
Oh man, I smell so fresh, and it gets all over it almost gets all
But
over your
doesn't
body.
Andrea like, stinks in here?
I do it later. I wait till she's
Okay.
gone. I mean, I've worked out but I want the big. And it's still got the stripes on it.
Yeah,
Here, let me show you. I want to show you what I'm talking about. Right guard, the big old mega right guard can. Yeah, look at that. There she is. Look at that Sport original, America's #1 aerosol.
What's up with aerosol? I remember there was a small period of time.
I'll
where,
never
like,
give it up.
Don't use aerosol.
No,
It's bad for
I
ozone.
am
What
with-
was that?
I am with
And now-
aerosol. Like most people are with guns, I'm with aerosol. You'll pry it out of my cold, dead hands. I'll never give up my aerosol deodorant. I will never stop using it. I'll never use gel. I'll never use a roll-on. My dad used a roll-on. And I'm going to tell you something right now that I probably shouldn't say. But my dad used Tussie roll-on deodorant, and he was a weak man. He was a weak man.
Yeah,
He
but
used an
what's the aerosol make?
unscented Tussie roll-on.
Is it the aerosol makes you tough because you're like, take that ozone?
I like the reason I got into aerosol deodorant is because of middle school. I went to middle school, and all of the athletes around me, everyone used it was Peckers Out and aerosol deodorant, and I will never change that way.
But by athletes, you mean anybody but white.
Anybody but white, yeah.
Right,
And they
right.
all use spray-on deodorant. So
Yeah,
I am a spray deodorant man. And I'll never not be. I guarantee you I'll never not be. When I go camping, spray deodorant. I bring a little can. They make little tiny ones. When do we go camping? I bring a tiny little
Travel can?
I bring a travel can of spray deodorant.
It is kind of easier, I guess.
Have you ever tried it? See, I think you're
I
knocking
used to
something.
use my mom's.
Whoa.
'Cause,
What was she rocking?
Arid.
Arid.
Dark blue
Big,
air.
big can.
Yeah,
Big
yeah.
can. Big as a can of hairspray.
Yeah.
Somebody's calling us. and they
Okay.
won't Stop. Let's see. What kind of deodorant do you wear?
Me?
Yeah. Well, who do you think I'm talking to? What kind of deodorant?
I normally I rock Old Spice.
Okay. Is this DeBerry Joe?
Yes.
Okay, great.
All right.
We have a follow-up. Thank you for calling.
So, DeBerry
You
Joe,
almost cursed, too. He almost cursed.
I feel like you not wearing deodorant is like Tua not wearing the concussion cap. out of everybody, out of everybody I know, I'm like, you need it.
Yeah.
Like,
Dude, it would actually make people feel better if Tua put it on, right?
Yeah.
Everybody would be like, oh, at least he's trying.
Like EJ, he just goes to his air-conditioned cubicle job at the lawyer's office.
He don't need it.
And he sits there in the
He's
AC.
soft.
He gets to his truck and the AC.
Have you felt EJ's arms?
Yeah,
They're
no,
so soft, pillowy soft.
He never sweats, so he doesn't need deodorant. You, DeBerry Joe, you're sweating 6 in the morning, weed eating.
Yeah.
Sweat crazy.
Do you sweat when you get in your house?
No, that's my all right. So that's the thing is, like, if I put deodorant on at 6:30 in the morning when I left, it's gonna be gone by 8:30.
Sure.
I will I look like I jumped in a pool from 8:30 in the morning until whenever I'm done working. I just there's no point in putting on deodorant.
Well, keep it in your truck. The point being, like, hey, I'm going to jump out of 7-Eleven and get
No,
myself
it
some.
feels great. Have you ever put on deodorant when you're slimy, soaking wet?
Hey.
It's disgusting.
No, not if you use spray on, ding dong. I'm telling you. I keep telling you guys spray on deodorant. All you ding dongs, you don't do what I say. You could spray deodorant on sweaty pits, and it goes to work. It goes to work immediately.
Are you a one-man operation, Joe?
Yeah.
I kind of look down on one-man lawn guy
really?
operations.
Yeah.
You at least need a partner that runs the weed eater.
Yeah. You need a chirper like me.
Because if I
we
know,
look down on one-man podcast too.
so if I know lawn operations, you work yourself up to you're driving the zero radius
And then
lawnmower.
you have a special needs edger.
Yes, special needs edger, and then he just weed eating and edging,
Yeah.
and then you're riding the mower.
But there's some concepts he doesn't understand. Sometimes you got to explain things to him real slow.
And he won't know English most likely, or for varying reasons.
and a fun fact: his head will be so large he can't wear a baseball cap.
Yeah. He had that mosquito thing.
Yeah.
So why don't you have a partner, Joe?
I just don't want to. I've worked for a lot of other lawn companies and found my way to do it.
I heard
like
it was the
doing
body
it
odor.
The way I do it. Yeah, it might. I've heard comments before, but I mean, I'm sitting around the house right now. And
Cadillac
haven't
Pat
put on
said.
deodorant.
Cadillac Pat said you stink.
He told us at dinner.
I'm joking.
He probably did.
So Joe,
I saw Cadillac Pat last night at my wife's birthday dinner, and I think he's trying to steal my wife.
do you have a trailer? What kind of mower you run?
Oh, he's got a good mower.
I have you talk about the riding mower. I have found my niche in push mowing.
Didn't
the
you
old
just get a
ladies
new one?
here in town,
I thought
like-
you just got a new badass push mower.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, it's like a 30-inch. It's the most badass commercial push mower you could ever buy.
I like that. He's a little bit. He's got his foot in the old school a little bit too, like a classic barber. Tom's not impressed. Tom's not impressed with your body odor and your old lawnmower.
It's like that. I love driving a Honda Accord.
It's retro.
It's a
Dude, if you
reliable
saw the
vehicle.
thing,
It was expensive, right?
No,
it was
no,
super
Tom,
expensive.
This was a big badass commercial push mower, and it does a really good job for me. It's kind of my niche that I found because there's a lot of like old ladies living on golf courses here, and they love that push mower shit, and there's nobody else in town doing it.
Oh no, you're
pardon my
good. Yeah,
language.
I'll get you.
What do they love about? What they
Makes
care?
them horny.
They care what kind of mower you use.
I get horny.
Yeah, it doesn't leave the big like mower tracks
Tire
in the
tracks.
yards.
What he's saying, there's truth to it.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, now, okay. Well,
Okay, Dave, if you want me to really break it down, my dad would not use the riding lawnmower in the front because the tires would tear up the grass. My dad would use the
leaves
push
a better
mower in the
cut.
front. He'd use the riding mower in the back.
Okay. All right. Now you
Seriously.
got me. All right.
Yeah. This could spider web out.
I call it boutique mowing.
Oh, like we do with boutique.
The commercials.
You stole that from us. You stole that from us, you goddamn liar.
Just like you, Tom and Dan.
All right, DeBerry Joe, get out of here.
Yeah, we love you. Get
All
out
right,
of here.
let's take a break. When we come back, we got Mo in studio. We're gonna ask him.
Busdecker's here too, but you know what makes me nervous?
What?
Can't Mo go anywhere without this guy showing up and making sure that Mo's on time?
Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
my God!
Well, Mo got here before
Yeah,
Busdecker.
I know.
Which got to be embarrassing for Busdecker,
It's
right?
got to be embarrassing
You
when
show
your
up
boss
at-
gets there
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it's like,
You see his car, you're like, oh,
God,
God.
he beat me here. Maybe I can sneak in the back. He's climbing through the bathroom window.
All right, we'll be back.
What's up, y'all? Hello. Good to see you guys. All right.
No. Straight trash. No. Which one are you? Well, here you go. You're large, right? I'm medium now. Oh, you are?
Yeah, he's a medium now.
You a large?
I'm a large, yeah.
There you go. That's what yours said. Oh, what is this? Sun shirt. All right.
Hey, thanks, dude. I love a sun shirt.
America? Come on.
China.
Were they expensive? Because we need to make some sun shirts.
Oh, thank you, buddy. Oh, these are great. Ooh, now I gotta hang it back up again.
Okay.
Oh, thanks, man. These are great.
500.
Dude, these are fantastic. Thank you. I love these type of,
What was the total cost?
like these type of keychains. What's up, buddy? How are you?
Good, how are you doing?
Good to see you.
You as well.
What's new?
Same old shit, you know.
Yeah, hurricane. I hate it. Everybody hates it. Yeah. Necessary evil. Family's good.
Yeah, what you?
Good. Yeah, everything is great. Everything is great. We
On the cruise.
we had a really good time. That was fun. I'm just now recovered, I think.
Yeah.
I can't do that. That is hard. That is hard. It's hard. Yeah. It's the alcohol plus the late night. I can do one or the other.
Right. Yeah.
It's like, well, there
And
was
the
one night
back-to-back.
I was standing inside the sports bar. I think, like, I'm trying to think I forget who was with me. I was standing there, and I know Tracy was there, and I just started I think I started falling asleep. Like I was just like, and I'm like standing there, and then it's on that side where they had the slot machines on the, and I'm just like, oh my god, why am I so tired? Then I couldn't find my way back.
Well,
The ship was hard, man. It's hard to figure out.
amazing in of itself.
Everything else good though?
Yeah.
Good, man.
Can't complain.
Good. What's everybody saying?
This is gonna air tonight.
Tonight.
Oh, okay.
Let me keep that.
Okay.
Actually, we're gonna come and do probably a hurricane podcast,
People are enjoying Mo's new haircut.
No.
You know? There it said
Thank
the-
Larry for that.
Yeah.
That's fine.
We got a nice haircut. We got people complimenting you guys. All right, Mr. Van, would you like to bring us back?
Yeah.
Those magnets, if you guys want to talk about.
Oh, yeah. Do you have one?
100 left, so even if your BDMs had first dibs on them.
Okay, cool.
So
Very
you can
cool.
Just go to
Shop.justcallmo.com.
yeah,
Shop.justcallmo.com.
I think there's a direct link. I'll deal with that, but it's shop.justcallmo.com.
Okay, cool. All right, buddy, bring us back. Here we go. In 3, 2.
Welcome back to A Corporate Time. Mo DeWitt's in studio. How you doing, Mo?
Hey.
Where's Little Mo?
Oh, he's he's on bad terms right now. We're fighting.
Yeah. I had a feeling. Something bad was going to happen with that because I started seeing this puppet go out to different comedy clubs. It was I was like, this is not going to be good.
Got way too big of a head. Trying to steal the
You
spotlight.
got to control your intellectual property too. You know, you have a puppet going around Orlando with someone's hand in it, and they're just saying anything they want to say, representing you. I thought of that. I'm like, that's not good.
Before we get into some hurricane questions with Mo, some legal questions.
If a tree falls on the thing, it's in my neighbor. Man. That's my impression of all your questions.
I want to talk to Mo about flying.
All right.
Because for a while I was like, it'd be a good podcast if me and Daniel got in Mo's plane and he flew us around.
Oh yeah, because it's so cheap and easy to do. Yeah, fly us around.
And it'd be a plane cast and fly with Mo. We're like, look what we're doing.
Look at me.
Throwing stuff out the window. I don't know.
Exactly.
Fly over that lake.
Yeah. I want to throw this frozen turkey at Dan Newland's limo.
But I've been hesitant to do that because I was doing some math in my head here.
Yeah.
And I don't know if
that's the only math I do is in my head. I don't do any other math.
And see, me and Mo are a lot alike. I don't know if you knew this.
Should I take him off camera so people don't see him? He's shaking his head.
No, I'm just saying we got a lot going on.
Our worst listeners call in and say, I'm just like you, Tom. I'm just like you. My family hates me. I'm just like you, Tom.
It's the greatest insult.
I flooded my house. I'm just like you.
So me and Mo have a lot going on.
You know, I get a bad one too. They're like, I'm gay like you do. I'm like, I'm not married with a child, and being gay is fine. But okay, whatever.
So, and with people that have a lot going on, you don't have that much time to dedicate towards one thing. You're kind of doing a lot of things, and you're doing them well, but maybe you're cutting some corners. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe you're not going through
You saying I'm cutting corners over
I
here?
don't think Mo cuts corners, and I also don't think that's like the idea that he was to put out for his law firm.
Not with that.
When you think of cutting corners, there we go.
No. I'm just saying. So there's some things you don't cut corners on, but I'm just saying when it was time to plan out the flight. You
do your flight plan. You have to walk around and do your check.
Yeah. And then you're like, how
You have
many
to kick
hours
the
does the
tires.
propellers have again? Or you're like, what is that? Like, they're being conservative. It's like dive tables. You could go 1,001 hours. Is fine.
I'm sure a light will start flashing at you when you land the thing.
It's all
you don't have to
computers
get on the
now.
radio. And there's no protocol for getting on the radio and saying that. You just get on the plane. If you just rock it down, take it up. Hey, come up here. What are you gonna do about it? I'm
No, you do the protocol. I'm just saying maybe you're not doing the full schedule. They're like write out the schedule. What airport you're gonna land. You have to like talk to them before.
I think legally you have to do that.
No, I'm just saying that there may be some things Mo doesn't have time for, and then I just thought of like
bus decker to do it.
Well, bus decker doesn't know 1,001 propeller hours. Like he doesn't know what
Propeller hours?
I don't know. Every time I see a picture of bus decker, he's in Mo's plane.
I'm just saying, it's totally cool, right? Everything's
Yeah, that's a great
by
question.
the book.
Mo, is it in fact totally cool?
It's totally cool, bro.
Like, you do all the protocol and then everything's fine.
You do all the protocol.
We
You
do
have
the
to,
protocol, and I have a safety pilot who's with me whenever we fly. Who he
that's
really
what the
does
listeners
all
call me for
protocol.
the show.
Somebody needs to be
I'm the safety pilot.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's me.
So Mo, before we talk about hurricane questions, I want to ask you this question that we had.
My name is Teresa.
Last week we talked about a person suing another person for a baseball that was taken from them at a baseball game when Ohtani.
It was Shohei Ohtani's 50-50 ball, and a guy caught it, and then an old man did that move. I used to do this as a kid, where you put the person's hand between your legs, rendering it like it can't move, and then you just pry the ball out of their hand. I used to do. I remember when my stepsisters, not stepsisters, my godsisters would like hold me down. I would put their arm between my leg, and then I'd bend their fingers back as hard as I could. Just let me go. I'm small.
Yeah. That's how you wrestle
Everybody
the gun out
bullied-
of someone's hand.
Yeah,
Use your thighs
I was
as
bullied
a clamp.
so much that I would bend everyone's fingers back. It's the only way, and grab their genitals.
So the old man stole the ball from the other guy, and then
which, by the way,
is selling it.
If an older man beats you up at a baseball game, that's shameful.
You
You have to just let him have the ball. He beat you up.
You hear that, Tony Moeicane?
Oh, that's right.
Oh, sorry.
Did you know that Bubba Whoop-Ass Wilson, rest in peace,
Yes.
he beat up Tony Moonjet?
I did not know that.
Yeah, it was terrible.
Was it a boxing match?
It was a boxing match.
Okay, I did kind of know
It was
that.
the
A
old-
boxing match in front of thousands and thousands of toothless weirdos.
So, what do you think, Mo? Does this person have a case? Because I was saying, like, technically, you took. I mean, if someone has something and then you pry it out of their hands, I'm like, that is stealing from them.
That was more his side of it. My side of it was like, this is the law of the ballpark.
It's a melee. It's whoever comes up with the ball, kind of like in the NFL. Like there's a pile, and then the refs only the guy who has it. Like in the bottom of the pile, they could be stealing it back and forth, but it's whoever has it at the end has possession. So what is it, Mo?
I mean, I would assume that it would kind of depend on whether he secured possession or not and had full control over it, or if it was still kind of being fumbled around and it was still open to anybody.
The video's inconclusive.
Okay.
There is a video of it, but it's almost like a he said, she said, where he's saying, I did fully have the ball, and then while I was laying down, this old man took advantage of me and pried it out of my hands. So, the video of it, you can see the old man does get the ball, and he wants to auction it off.
Wants to sell it.
And this guy's trying to get an injunction to stop the actual auction because he wants to work out the possession of the ball first.
Interesting. So I'm kind of surprised that ballparks haven't put in their contract when you buy a ticket at this point that they own any ball that goes into the stands, because that would kind of solve this issue and they would have full control, because sometimes the teams buy it back and things like that. I'm kind of surprised they haven't taken that stance already. It may be unpopular with the fans, maybe that's why they don't do it. But in this case, it's going to be up to a jury to look at the video and determine who they think had possession or control. If you can't really see, it probably would be whoever came up with the ball and has ultimate control over it in the end.
Because that's what the jury would say ultimately, like, hey, there's not enough, there's inconclusive evidence to show what happened, and now it's a he said, she said, and all the jury can do is like, well, the video only shows the guy at the end, and that's how we can't.
Yeah, I mean,
prove
whoever's
that.
suing has the burden of proof, so they would have to prove that they had possession or control of the ball and that the other person took it from them, and therefore it should be theirs. And if they don't have any evidence to do that, it's going to be very difficult for them to prove that to a jury.
It's funny to me that you and I both said he said, she said, like Diane Rehm from. And why can't we say that? We're both like, we get to it, we're like, it was definitely a he said, she said. Like, why do we do that? Why can't we said, he said, she, I still can't do it.
Yeah.
He said, she said.
It's like a seashore shells scenario.
Exactly.
Exactly like that. Yep.
So
back to you, Diane.
Let's get into the storm, Mo. First, are
storm.
you prepared for the
I'm
storm?
getting the hell out of here, Tom.
Are you going to fly your
Just
plane?
leave
You're going
it
to get in the plane and fly away?
Actually, I was thinking about taking the plane and leaving, which I haven't done before.
That's
but then,
badass if you can get in a plane and fly. So you get you should get in your plane and fly to a place where you get none of the storm. That would be really neat. Like you get no weather from the storm at all.
Yeah. But I mean, you could drive probably 2 hours.
Not as cool
south
as a
of-
plane.
you have to deal with traffic.
Not as cool as a plane.
Traffic is a nightmare, by the way.
Yeah.
Have you seen all the photos of
yeah.
people like leaving Tampa and stuff? I mean, it's they bumper to bumper, just into the world type scenario of people getting out. Which I wonder if it
God,
dies.
if we really do have an end of the world, not looking good. This is just a storm.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You see those pictures, you're like, wow, if this got any worse.
Yeah. Just stay put.
Yeah. I've always thought of myself as being one of those guys with a dirt bike and a hot girl in the back, and I'm just ripping through traffic smoking a cigarette.
Yeah.
Right? Because
that's
all I
awesome.
want to do is get to a barn and have sex with this hot girl I bet that needed me to get her to safety from the zombies.
This is quite the fantasy.
On the hay.
I always think that when like the hurricane's coming, I envision myself on a dirt bike, a hot girl on the back, not my wife, and I'm just envisioning myself sitting on the hill, like looking out of all the cars, like man, they're all honking at each other. I'm like, we'll be through this in a matter of minutes, babe.
Yeah. But I gotta be
As
honest.
you pass your wife walking on the side of the highway.
Hey, babe.
Yeah.
Hey, honey.
But I got to be honest with myself. I can barely get it going in AC in my house. and in a barn
It's hard.
on the hay with zombies outside.
Yeah, they're beating on the door.
I don't know.
Goddamn zombies, stop banging on the door. I'm trying to get a boner.
I don't know if it's going to work out. I'm hungry. I got low blood sugar.
I'm starved.
I'm
I'm
stressed.
lightheaded.
I'm stressed. I haven't slept.
And I took those mushrooms Josh Wolf gave me, and I'm freaking out at this barn.
And I'm sad I left my family.
Because my wife saw me.
She saw me drive away. Anyway, sorry, Mo.
I heard Maisie go, is that my dad on a dirt bike?
Back to fleeing.
He'll come back for me.
Someone mentioned driving on the shoulder during an evacuation event.
Yeah, we had a bunch of misinformation. Some people were saying, go ahead and do it. Some people were saying if it's under 40, you can do it during a hurricane.
It looked like they were letting people do it on the news last night.
I think they said they opened up some of the shoulders on certain highways for people to evacuate out, but I forget if it was the right shoulder or the left shoulder. It was just one of them, I believe. It wasn't both.
Okay.
So you had to kind of listen to what the instructions were, which people are great at.
Yeah.
And follow those instructions to kind of, be able to drive on the shoulder as if it was a lane.
I like those big billboard electronic signs that have information on them.
Yeah. And I like to hack those. I like to hack those and write F her in the P.
And then I look at it, I'm like, just text me.
I like the text.
What is this? What is this? So
can you pick the alerts that you get on your phone? I just want hurricanes and amber alerts, but I'm done with silver alerts.
Don't care.
Yeah, don't care.
You lived your life.
Yeah, I kind of want to I just need to pare down my notifications, and silver alerts, I'm done with them.
So, another storm-related question that a lot of people want to know is the question of if your neighbor's tree or belongings of any sort, like let's say they left their greenhouse totally up in their backyard.
Let's say your neighbor
and they left the
has
patio furniture.
Let's say your neighbor has a dilapidated Timu greenhouse, and it has, just hideous amounts of seedlings and saplings.
Yeah, but there's some heavy pots of soil in there too.
There's a lot of stuff in there.
And there's a gardening shears.
And he's decided he does not want to go to the effort of disassembling and moving everything in his garage.
Yeah.
So he leaves his greenhouse outside. The storm strikes, and I mean, it is like commando size. Saw blades are flying. And everything. Yeah.
And
Final Destination style.
Yeah.
And then it blows into my neighbor's yard, or my tree falls on my neighbor's car. Who is responsible?
Falls on the race car.
So I mean, it's considered an act of God. So typically,
Yes.
unless you're
Wait a
really
minute, you're an atheist.
negligent.
You can't claim that.
Yeah,
if
but
you're an
this
atheist.
is when God helps me with the money.
I like this
With the
guy.
money. Also lightning.
Yeah, God money. God money. 9-inch nails.
I like how you just stopped me right there. Like, that's all the answer I want.
Yeah. All you need to say is God, Mo.
That's all it
Thanks for
is.
coming in, Mo.
Yeah. Then that's what I write God on a piece of paper. I hand it to my neighbor. So that's what.
This is as good as
Did
money.
you hear about the tree? Got you something.
Yeah. But unless they're really negligent or they had some knowledge that it was a dangerous condition or something along those lines, typically they won't be liable unless you can show that.
Okay. So
you're gonna leave it.
Oh, that's what Mo said.
I said nothing of the sort.
That's what God said.
I talked to Mo and I talked to God, and they both said leave it.
I'm just doing what God told me to do. So next question, Mo, and I don't want to waste your time here because you're
every
busy.
time he's here, we waste his time.
I mean,
every
busy.
second spent here is a waste of time.
You
It's
got
the one thing in my life that's consistent.
Now, I will say our listeners love you, but I can assure you every time you've been here has been a waste.
I'll just say the chat room wanted to know who your favorite TV lawyer was.
Yes.
If you had in one particular lawyer that you like the most.
Do you have you been watching the new Matlock with
I've
Kathy
not
Bates?
watched that. Man, that's a tough one. Favorite TV lawyer.
Yeah.
I mean,
is there one that you thought maybe was you were like, oh, that they presented that in an actual factual way, or that's how?
See, I would actually go the opposite way. I would go Night Court.
Okay.
The sleazy prosecutor on Night Court, that one guy.
Dan Fielding? Yeah, nice, man. Good assist. Dan Fielding.
Yeah, he didn't know it was a bumbling.
Yeah, that guy's super tall, too, right?
Well, I think the judge was super tall. Oh, maybe he's tall, too. I don't know.
the guy that plays that, is it John Lyric? It's not John
Yeah. It's something
John
like
Larroquette?
that. Yeah.
John Larroquette.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You know why I liked him on Night Court? That dude was horny.
Yeah, he was a
And
horny, bumbling
He
lawyer.
would always come in drunk with 2 whores.
Yeah.
And this is when you could call them whores. This is when you could have
it was the 90s.
Yeah, ladies of the night, and he'd have 2 of them. They'd be chewing gum with the big hair and the fishnets.
Don't bring him here, Lorcan. What are you doing?
He loves them.
The judge is gonna see it. You brought him to work. You're still wearing your suit.
Oh, and then the judge is he's up there with his Mel
He's
Torme
doing magic
picture. He's
and-
doing magic with a fedora on. He was the worst part of the show, I thought. Harry Anderson.
Yep.
I remember.
R.I.P.
I remember when Harry Anderson started on Night Court, or started on Cheers. He was a character on Cheers. He was like a slime ball. He was a drifter.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
If you watch Cheers, if you go back to the first seasons of Cheers, it still holds up. But Larry, or what's the guy's name?
Harry
Anderson.
Yeah.
Harry Anderson. He wears the fedora. He wears suspenders, but he's like a card shark, kind of like a bad guy, like a what are those people called? I don't want to say like a gypsy, but like a con man.
Con man,
like a traditional con man. And then they took him, and that's why I could never believe him on Night Court, because I was like, wait a minute, you were the con man from
Clean his
Cheers.
life up.
And it's the same character, but now he's a judge? You did your schooling very quickly. You know?
Maybe it was all a con. Maybe he wasn't really a judge.
That's
Mo,
true.
So let me ask you this question.
He's going off script, Mo.
So the liberal media is telling me to evacuate. All right? Okay.
And you want to stay and shoot your guns at the store.
And so, the internet media, it's
That was
telling
the
me to
number one
stand your
question we
ground.
got in the chat room.
I actually saw that. Yeah.
Can I shoot my guns at
into
the store?
Yep.
So
I actually had a guy who used to write me on a regular basis who was in a psychiatric facility.
All right.
And he would send these long, long letters with these diagrams, and it was all about how to stop hurricanes. And the summary was basically, and every drawing was, you had the hurricane in the middle, and you had a boat then going the opposite direction as fast as possible around the hurricane to stop it.
That's the Superman.
That's the Superman.
I remember that. When Superman started going, he stopped the world.
Yeah, then he reversed it.
If I were Superman and stopped the world, I'm going to do a lot of bad things before I get it started again.
And then somehow the world rotating the opposite direction, reverse time.
Yeah.
which I'm
like
sure the
that.
writers of Superman
it-
understand physics.
But it reversed time like a movie. It was like,
Makes sense.
yeah.
you saw it. You're like, is this how it works?
Yeah, you can move it back and forth, back and forth.
And I'm pretty sure just slowing down Earth would cause everybody to rocket forward. Like,
or off, right?
Yeah.
I think we'd rocket off.
So, anyway, the media is telling me to evacuate, and I'm not going nowhere, Mo. Right? I'm in my house. Got my flags out. I'm ready for it. So then,
you have your flags out?
Yeah. You know what?
Everyone knows. If you're staying, if you're really staying, no, you put your flags out.
And then I'm getting BF'd by the storm, right? So it's getting me good.
You're also drunk while you're getting
I'm
BF'd.
drunk, and I'm like,
obviously.
Help! So then now they told me the emergency personnel is not going to save me if I stay.
They won't go out.
Right. So, but then I'm on my roof. And then I'm like, I'm screaming for help.
Yeah,
I'm
screaming
like,
at Mo's plane as Mo's plane like flies.
Hey, Tom.
Yeah, but then I see the emergency personnel, and then they're handling something different. And I'm like, help!
They're handling a real emergency.
And then they're like, we said you had time to leave.
This was our one exception. You would be our second exception.
We said we're not gonna come get you. We told you that.
Yeah.
It was clear instructions.
You start shooting your guns at them.
But I'm like, yeah, I see you could get me if you wanted to. Right? So then
you're lazy.
So if I have a case, Mo, if they don't save me and I see that they can get me, but they did warn me and say we're not gonna get you if you stay.
Well, you're gonna die. So I think you have no case.
No, but let's just say I make it through.
No one will know about this. Like, you will die, and then the person will watch you die, and then they'll be like, I would know what speaking of this ever.
Because I feel like they have some sort of moral code, even though they told everybody.
Like road rangers have a moral code?
No, like doctors, they swore an oath to always save people's lives.
No, dude.
So they swore an oath when they became rescuers to always rescue everybody.
You've been watching too many. What's that movie?
They swore an oath.
What was the movie with?
Mo swore an oth. There's oaths involved with things. Seriously.
I'd love to hear the road ranger oath.
I don't think there's a rescuer oath.
Yeah, there's an oath.
Like, you're thinking of, like, who's the guy that Yellowstone?
Kevin Costner.
Who was the movie with Costner and the other guy that married?
Dancing with Wolves.
No. It's Costner and then the guy from Punk'd.
Ashton Kutcher?
Ashton Kutcher. Remember they're rescuers in the movie, and it's like the old
they were National Guard.
Yeah,
like,
and it's the old rescuer handing the baton to the new hotshot rescuer.
Yeah, the rescue swimmer.
Yeah.
From the Coast Guard.
Yeah,
it was a Coast Guard
what I
rescue
envision.
swimmer.
That's what I'm envisioning.
Okay, yeah.
Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, they swore an oath. They always protect.
In that, I think they did have an oath.
Yeah,
but I thought it was like a BS made-up oath.
So I think the oath binds them to have to save you, even though they told you to evacuate, we're not going to save you, right?
I mean, if you say so, Tom.
I live my life by oaths.
Fast forward to like 2 days from now, there's somebody on their roof, and they're like, they swore an oath. They're looking around, looking at the sky. They're like, Tom told me about the oath. They'll be here.
They'll swim to your house. They're like, oh, God. They put their hand on the book.
Yeah, on the
Bible. It's like the podcaster's oath.
There's no podcaster's oath. There's no oath. No, sir. I got no oath.
I mean, legally speaking, even not during a storm, rescuers have no legal obligation to rescue you. So they can. And there's actually a case where a lady was inside a house. I think she was being sexually assaulted. It was a horrible situation. She somehow snuck away, called 911, and the 911, they dispatched somebody who just knocked on the door. Nobody answered the door, and they left. And that person, I think she was either killed or something horrible happened to her. She ended up suing that police department, and the court basically said, well, there's no legal duty to actually rescue you under the law, and so she had no case.
Oh, I thought there was what about the oath?
You
just knock on the door like I drove by.
It looked fine.
I drove by. I honked my horn a couple times. I'm like, hey, stop it.
Anyone in there? Knock it off.
It's like at Home Alone. House looks secure.
So, Mo, is it also under an act of God if let's say you have let your home or business fall into disrepair?
Oh yeah.
And then because of that, there's exposed wires and all sorts of other problems that you never took care of, and the storm causes all those problems to get way worse, or a fire or something, and it's like
you're talking about the sausage castle, aren't you?
Is there some like way to go back because the storm basically lit the fuse on the problem you created and then therefore destroyed other people's property or whatever? Like, could you go and say like, hey, this person didn't keep up their side of the deal, like they had screwed up electricity, which caused a problem when the storm hit.
I mean, insurance companies are always going to try to find ways to minimize the payouts or deny the claim altogether. So if they can find something, they're of course going to do that, and that's why as they were kind of talking about in the chat already, it's important to take pictures of the inside of your house, the outside of your house, your cars, anything that you can really, because then if there is some sort of dispute, you have documentation to show them, hey, no, this was actually in decent condition before the storm, and it was actually caused by the storm. Because they may argue, oh, that damage was already there, that wasn't related to the storm at all.
All I've seen is photos of people's True Leave hauls. Hey, look, Pringles are on sale, and look at all my beer from ABC Liquors.
But by the way, that is called Miami hammer time. When a storm comes through, and then immediately you get up and start hammering your roof. Or you
the storm,
you hammer your whole roof just to make sure.
It's called accelerated lightning. You start slamming
How are you still alive?
This is why our insurance is so high, Mo. It's not my fault. I wasn't born with Miami hammer time. That was taught to me in Miami.
Pick up the hammer. Did you know that Tom is going to be nude, wearing a motorcycle helmet, bailing out his pool? Did you know that?
Sounds about right.
Yeah, we got the sandbags, so I'm not bailing. Like, once the water comes, I'm letting it
I like
come.
that you're dressed like Daft Punk, completely nude. You got a motorcycle helmet on. He's out there bailing it out.
Oh, man. Yeah, and you know what sucks is that...
Bus Decker, did you prepare? You good? You good? Hold on, let me turn your microphone. You need anything? You good?
No, I'm all good. I'm
Okay.
all good. Yeah,
All right.
all set. Got food, got water. I got to get some ice. So
Okay.
I don't know if I'm going to be able to get ice right now, but we'll see.
You got a Publix across the street?
I'm going to go check it out. I
Yeah.
got a feeling there's nothing left there, but maybe some ice.
It's been decimated over there. It's terrible. It's terrible.
What do you need ice for? Just,
Well, I put it in a cooler so I can have cold drinks.
Okay, but that lasts for 24 hours.
No, I got a good Yeti.
You got a Yeti?
You got
it's a knockoff Yeti. It's a knockoff.
Oh, okay. I was
Yeti.
going to say, what's Mo paying you over there? It's $300 cooler.
Like, if you're not going to have power for a week, don't make the first day good, because that sets a bad example for the next 6.
Right. That's true.
Immediately go into misery, and then you get used to it. You don't. Yeah, the first day is like cool outside. You're drinking ice cold drinks, and you're like, "That's not bad." And then day 3 and 4, it makes it real
It's day
bad.
5 that you start yelling at your family. You start yelling at your family.
And you're like, "God, it stinks like a swamp in here."
Yeah.
I figured I could come sleep here. There's a
You
couch
can.
right here, right?
You're allowed.
All right.
We had an old employee that came here during the one hurricane and slept here against me telling them they shouldn't do it. I told them not to do it, and they slept right on that couch, naked.
And Dan is looking at him.
Yeah, I was looking through the security camera, texting him. I was like, "I see you in there.
You clean this thing,
Put
right?
your shirt on." Yeah, I did. I did clean it. No, I actually slept out there. I was exaggerating. Most things I say on the show are a completely bold-faced lie.
Yeah, what happened to the podcaster's oath?
I lie. I take no oath. I lie. I lie so much. So many lies.
But they're all a little true. Like, he did sleep here.
Yeah, he did sleep here, but he was out there.
Yeah. And you did look at the security camera.
And I did tell him to get the hell out of here.
So it's
That's
almost,
all true.
It's almost all true.
Almost.
The parts that make us look good are the lies.
We usually lie. We usually lie to make ourselves look good.
Yeah. There it is.
Like most people do.
All right, Mo. Well, good luck.
You as well.
And and if anybody does, one last thing, for like any sort of car accidents, because I imagine that just evacuations mixed with people's. I saw
Driving your dirt bike with a hot chick on the back, flying through the storm.
Yeah. You're splitting lanes.
Yeah.
Is that legal? Splitting lanes?
I don't think so.
It is in LA, right?
I think that's illegal.
I've driven during hurricanes before. Like, I remember that
You trying to impress us?
that hurricane that hit us after Charlie.
Irma?
Was it Irma? I know. No, Irma was later, right?
I don't know. I just yell things.
But I remember, like, me and Crystal were sitting here with no power, and then another hurricane was coming through, and then we were like, let's go to Gainesville to the Wizard's house and just party up there. Then
ride some dirt bikes.
So me and Crystal got in the truck, and then we said we were driving up the turnpike, and the damn hurricane was coming up towards Gainesville too. So I remember there was trees in the turnpike.
And
and
you
stuff.
just
you outran the hurricane.
No, we were
Tom outran the hurricane.
We were driving in it, following it, going over us
smart.
up to Gainesville. We got to Gainesville, and then their power went out, which is a complete waste of time. So my question being is that you start driving like it's the end of the world in hurricanes.
Francis
And
is what
was it
everybody's
Francis?
saying,
Okay, yeah. And then I'm sure there's a lot of accidents out there, and then because of this, like you're still you have to abide by the same exact traffic rules.
Yeah.
But what about the shoulder? Like, what if you're driving in the shoulder and someone gets in a car accident with you, and then you're like, well, the police told me I could drive in the shoulder.
I think you're allowed to.
And then,
Yeah, it's just like a lane. It's
Okay.
the same thing as any other lane at that point.
So there's no argument to be said like, well, I wasn't used to the shoulder being another lane, so I crashed into someone. There's no like out of that.
No.
It's okay. God damn it! I thought there's something weird happening.
No.
They're like, it's weird act of
Always
God.
looking for the loophole.
Yeah.
I'm looking for the God.
It is almost like today's Christmas because he's like, oh my God, it's Act of God time. I love Act of God time.
Anyway, well, Mo, we appreciate it. Injured on the go, just call Mo. If you are injured during the storm,
Yes.
just call Mo.
Yeah, and man, always a pleasure seeing you.
Always great to see
you
you
and
guys. Stay
Bustecker,
safe.
please take care of yourselves and
Will
your
do.
families. We love you guys. And guys, we will see you tomorrow.
Yep.
Awesome. Oh, we're done, right?